Yes, so welcome on board again today, my wonderful viewers. We are rolling it as usual. I'm sure you are enjoying the groove. Yes, we are getting the fire rolling. I still remember when you said, it's your number one, the DJ you are always looking forward to. If you have something on fire, I'm going to be adding more fire to it. So make sure you get your fire extinguisher ready.
Your hostess DJ Don Genius, spinning the wheels of steel.
So from the interface you are seeing right now, we are going to be discussing some basic elements that you need to know when you are dealing with the DJ machine, the DJ software, the DJ controller while mixing. So transitioning is one of the major elements in DJing that you cannot run away from. Beyond just understanding the structure of the song, there are some key things you need to know about the controller in general, whatsoever, whether it's a manual controller, whether you are dealing with the Acid Pro DJ software or whatsoever software you're dealing with. Especially for the case of the normal mixing controllers that you'll be dealing with, whether it's the virtual DJ or the controller on the deck, this interface is actually designed from the perspective of the developers who try to mimic the usual controller that you have. So what you are seeing right now on the screen is just a mimic of the controller that you are using. Just as you have the normal controller, you have your deck, which will have one by the left and one by the right, which you use to scratch or to play around with the flow of the song. You have your crossfader down, which you play around with the volume of one deck to another. You have your gain. Your gain is to ensure a balance of sound. So you don't need to put the sound of one to be so high and one is above or so high. From what you can see we have gain minus 0.7. If I come to this other deck too, that I just stopped not too long ago, you will see the gain. You see that is 3.11 dB. So in this case the sound is dealing with dB. So in this case you try to do it manually and ensure that you have a balance. There are situations where the software will automatically adjust it for you, but try to ensure you have a balanced sound while issuing that sound out, and ensure you have a stable sound that is not too high. This level indicator that is showing you have to work with it very well, because if you pump so much sound into the speaker, you are going to be having cracking sound, which means you are overstressing the capacitor that are storing power to push it back to the speakers. So in this case you work with that very well. You have your channel faders, that is your EQs. This one takes care of ensuring that you have a stable sound. You can increase the equalizer, either the treble, the bass, and what have you. So when you are mixing, in this case you have to ensure that you have a balanced sound that crossfade. You have two tracks coming, they are moving side by side, so the bass cannot be clashing on each other. One will have to go down for the other. So that is why you have this EQ, especially the lower one. So you bring down one and you put one to be stable, so that you don't have a confusion in the speaker, because the process of heating the speaker, the coil in the speaker that gives power to the speaker to bring out the bass, is so strong, so it uses a lot of energy. So if you had two bass together, you are going to be heating so much to a point that you might not be having a balanced bass that is going on. That is why these EQs are being used for. You have these level faders. These level faders you are seeing here, this one ensures that you can use them to adjust the volume of one and reduce it. They are similar with the dB, but the case of the dB has a higher spectrum. That means it has a higher capacity of charge. We are talking about charge in this case. We are not talking about the volume. That means you are adjusting the gate of the transistor. This one adjusts the gate of the transistor, while this one is talking about the overall charge. That is the overall power you are pumping into the speaker. That is what the dB is all about. Just like when you are transmitting. If you are transmitting, you deal modularly with dB. That is why even if they turn down the volume completely, you still hear some humming sound. So that humming sound is the dB. That means the amplitude at which you are firing the speakers. Then you have your cues. These cues are very, very important. That is where you set the sound to start at a particular point and to end. or you start the song at a particular point, there are markers. Just like you set the markers, most of the time the counting is very important. That is why you have these markers. Just like if you watch my previous video, you see where we have shake 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. So you can see how I'm counting along. So in this process, you set it on the 1 so that it makes sure that you are counting along with the beating. So in this case, we have our beating. This 1 2, when you count it continuously, you notice that it's working with the dB. Sorry, it's working with the bass. Most of the time the 1 is always on the bass, but not in all cases. There are exceptions. So this process of counting is very important. That is why you have this number here. This is talking about the beat per minute. So this 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. So when you flow along that is why as a DJ, when you get to a particular point, it becomes part of you. You unconsciously begin to begin to count, even when you are not counting. So you practice that. When you practice that, you get to a point where it becomes natural. You can easily dictate the point 1 at any song. It makes it flexible for you to beat match while the one is going down the other one, as long as the beat per minute of the two songs are flowing along. The key of the song is not really that much of concern, but I will get to a point where I will talk about the key, how important it is when you are blending two songs. Then you have your pitch. You also have some little adjustments that you have to do with the song while you are doing that. So even while scratching, that 1 2 is very important too, because you cannot be dropping the scratch carelessly, because you have to do it in a calculative manner that when you are scratching, as you are dropping, that song is going to be flowing along with the ones. So that is why you have your 1 1 1 1 1. As you are pushing it forward, you are pushing it on the 1 and you are bringing it back on the 2, to a point that when you are doing it, no matter how fast you are doing it, it will get to a point where when you are releasing it on the 1 of this track that is going out. So that is how interesting being a DJ can be. So if you are not a DJ and you are watching this video, I'm sure you are beginning to appreciate what DJs do. And if you are a DJ, I'm sure you are looking forward to improving, and I'm sure you are enjoying what I'm talking about now. So we are going to be looking at the practical aspect on a gradual process. This point, we are gradually getting to the practical aspect. So I'm giving you some key things that you need. You have your sync. This sync automatically does the job of synchronizing this beat, because as a human being, no matter how good you are, you cannot be good at this syncing automatically. For those who uses the controllers on years back, you notice that they always have that challenge. That is why they are always using speakers. But the advancement of technology today has made it possible that you don't need to be using earphone while doing that. You can do your thing. The machine does the job of the synchronization. Your job is to drop it on the 1. So there are situations where you can even map it to a point that the device can easily identify the 1 and drop it on it while you are doing it. These ones are majorly done when there is a setting you use on this crossfader, that whenever you are opening the crossfader to the middle, or you are bringing the voice of the other deck, it automatically puts it on the 1 or whatsoever number you have automatically set it to. So in this case, you have crossfader hot cues. If you are hearing this for the first time, it's a feature I've used for some times in the Virtual DJ too. So whether it's on the controller, it's also applicable. So it's a simple concept. It's not something really difficult. So let's continue to enjoy it. I'll be bringing you more while we continue to advance this concept. You have your loops too. So just what you are seeing right now, we have the loop. In this case, I'm picking out a particular point of the song and I'm locking it to continue to repeat it. So the device is so good in counting, such that it is counting it once it is on the 4 now. I'm using the 4. Let's see it on the loop effect. This is it on 4. So it automatically does it. So 1 2 3 4. Once it gets to 4, it goes back to 1. That is how the loop does. So if you put it on the 8-bar loop, that means it's going to do 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1. So for the music producers, you notice that they don't joke with this aspect very well, because they have that mindset that DJs will work on it. So for you to be a very good DJ too, you also have that mind. You also need to understand how music is formed. That is why I talked about the idea of learning what producers do. So you are growing to become a producer too. That's why I talked about it in my last video. So looking forward to learning more. Catch you there as we continue to get fire. Let's get the fire going.
It's your hottest DJ Don Genius, spinning the wheels of steel.
Sa